You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. Welcome to our news. The headlines. Vice President INONGE WINA resuscitates Bill 10 debate. Church says no to comprehensive sexual education in schools. PF celebrates by-election win as UPND accepts loss, goes back to the drawing board. In international news, Botswana allows married women to be allocated land. And in sports news, MBET in a 3-year partnership with the official Spanish league LA-LIGA. For the details, do join me shortly after this break.
Msika is here. We have you all covered with just 150 kwacha. You can advertise every day from 17 hours to 18 hours. For a 30-second ad, get the benefit of selling your products and services on Msika. For more details, call our marketing department on +260 953 995099 +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467. Email us on info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you a filmmaker? Well, you are exactly what we are looking for.
Camnet TV is calling on local filmmakers. For more details,
You can visit our headquarters in Ibex Hill, next to Hilltop Hospital.
contact us on
0962 444 726. Camnet TV.
not just another channel.
With the details, my name is Liseli Kanyanga. The Constitution Amendment Bill number 10 of 2019 has seen the light of day after Vice President INONGE WINA moved a motion to restore 8 bills to which Bill 10 was part of. The bill has been a subject of debate for politicians and generally members of the public. The bill seeks to correct the lacunas in the Constitution by removing and adding some provisions deemed fit for the people of Zambia. As usual, the bill has been opposed by the United Party for National Development through their leader of opposition, Jack Mwimbu, who insists the bill is long gone. Details in this report.
Mr. Speaker, according to parliamentary procedure and practice, all business that is not concluded before the end of a session lapses and cannot be continued with in the issuing session unless the House otherwise directs.
The Constitution Amendment Bill number 10 of 2019 has been brought back to Parliament. This was after Vice President INONGE WINA moved a motion that 8 bills be brought back onto the order paper that were not concluded in the previous sitting, in line with Standing Order number 126-1. After the debate, the Speaker of the National Assembly announced the restoration of the 8 bills into the House. But this did not come easy, as leader of the opposition Jack Mwimbu took to the floor to discredit the bill, which he insists is a dead bill aimed at infringing the rights of the Zambian people in all sense. He says the UPND as a party will not support the bill. According to Honorable Mwimbu, the bill has lapsed and cannot be debated upon.
Mr. Speaker, after reinstating this particular bill on the order paper, there was a lapse on the part of government pertaining to this particular bill. They left the bill to lapse on the 4th of June 2020. That is what happened. As far as we are concerned as UPND, Mr. Speaker, this bill died on the 4th of June. There was an attempt by the Minister of Justice when he wrote a letter to request Parliament to allow him to debate the bill on the 30th of June. Mr. Speaker, you cannot extend a bill that has already lapsed. It had died on the 4th of June.
But Patriotic Front Parliamentary Deputy Chief Whip Tutu Anguluwe insists the bill is not dead and stands the chance to be debated.
You can go. Sit, we answer. We have to answer you. We have to answer you.
Point of order. Point of order.
It is not correct to state, as Honorable Mwimbo has stated, that bill number 10 died, or any other bill that wasn't concluded.
Justice Minister Given Lubinda, who is the custodian of the bill, also clarified that bringing back the bill that were not concluded is a democratic stance that is commendable.
Notwithstanding the fact that it is instructive that such orders would be put without even a motion being put. What Her Honor is doing is actually being extremely democratic and extremely transparent. There is therefore no reason whatsoever for us to even waste time over a procedural matter such as this.
The House has since restored 8 bills, among them Bill 10, the National Forensic Bill, Planning and Budgeting Bill, among others. Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Patriotic Front candidates in the just-ended parliamentary by-elections have scooped the seat with a landslide victory in both constituencies. Mwansabombwe, newly elected MP Kapampi Kabaso, polled 6,478, followed by United Party for National Development candidate Maluba Sande, who polled 1,522, followed by NAREP, polling 400. Leadership Movement had 285, while UPPZ had 129 votes. Meanwhile, Lukasha George Chilanga managed to poll 13,431, followed by UPND candidate Davis Mulenga, who polled 2,684. PAC had 474, UPPZ 147, LM 143, and MMD 114. Patriotic Front Secretary General Davis Mwila has since paid glowing tribute to the fallen MP Roger Smwelwa and Honorable Munkonge for their respective legacies. Meanwhile, Vice President INONGE WINA has congratulated the Patriotic Front for scooping the 2 parliamentary seats in Lukasha and Mwansabombwe. She says this is a clear demonstration of how much faith they have for the ruling party. Ms. Wina says this shows how the 2021 general elections will be, as evidence from yesterday's by-elections, not only on parliamentary level but ward level as well. And leader of the opposition, Jack Mwimbo, has congratulated the PF on the floor of parliament.
Allow me to congratulate the Patriotic Front Party for a landslide victory in the Lukasha constituency in Northern Province, as well as in Mwansabombwe constituency in Luapula Province. Mr. Speaker, this is a clear demonstration of how much confidence the people of Zambia have in the Patriotic Front government under the exceptional stewardship of His Excellency Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. This is indeed a sign of better outcomes in the 2021 for the Patriotic Front.
Mr. Speaker, I'll be failing in my duties if I fail to congratulate the PF. I would like to congratulate the PF, Mr. Speaker, for having been in Mwansabombwe and Lukasha constituency campaigning. Whilst they are away campaigning, the economy collapsed. Mr. Speaker, congratulations for collapsing the economy while you were busy campaigning.
United Party for National Development UPND National Chairperson Mutale Nalumango has expressed disappointment at the failure by police to freely operate, especially in the presence of political party cadres. Ms. Nalumango says it is sad to see officers fail to do their job because cadres are giving them directives on how to operate their day-to-day work. She adds that it is unfortunate that such things keep happening in a democratic country like Zambia. Meanwhile, she has urged those who won the by-elections on the UPND ticket to remain focused and work hard. Ms. Nalumango says the men and women who won the by-elections from the UPND worked hard in convincing the people of Zambia that they were the right candidates, hence a vote was given to them.
Even under an environment where institutions of governance are no longer working, the police cannot work. The police are being told what to do by cadres. It is unfortunate. And let me take this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to congratulate our gallant men and women that went into the campaigns that were held yesterday. They worked hard. They worked hard to try and convince our people that the way out of our malaise, economic malaise, whatever, is UPND. And we know, all things being equal, this is an election where we could have won. I think people have watched and they have seen.
Home Affairs Minister Stephen Kampyongo has disclosed that proper action will be taken on culprits that were giving children national registration cards for elderly people as a way of disparaging government. Mr. Kampyongo says the law is clear on who is eligible to obtain an NRC and it is only 16 years old and older. He has warned people who are in the habit of doing wrong things, thinking they will get away with it, and that stern action will be taken once apprehended. He says the police has since instituted investigations into the matter in order to put a stop to such behavior. The minister has since urged Zambians to be patriotic and report such kind of behavior to relevant authorities so that action can be taken. During phase 1 of the issuance of mobile national registration cards exercise, images of children between the ages of 10 and 12 surfaced with captions that they acquired national registration cards contrary to the laws of Zambia that only allows one to acquire an NRC at the age of 16.
Tantika kamwaiche walaka kopa na phone wakapera na kamutuka muntu mkalamba pakuti chimoneke kwati omwaiche upokere NRC aba bomfi twatuma aba bomfi babuteko bantu bafikukire nsakwe aba ishiba lero badela nshanya na bafyashi kuti bamono kuti omwana oyikire kine taningiro kupoka akamutu kanshi balya tulero mbafa abantu kuti abeposa kwa mano pantu kuli omuntu mwine fe mwina Zambia uwa kwata mano aya kwanira yasano nga wasanga pa chitike fe musango fida kuleta umuntu ula kuli bakapokora wamucha report tekuya mukumuteka muti bansemo alako pamwebere abana nabapoka ma NRC nomanishi nishi wapanga kulalanga fiwa abantu kutira abantu bale mono kwe wacha baraba bomfale bomba tabale bombe milimo bulugwe ero nangungu checho wingafa kulembo mwana munono olo bakala lembesha ngakuvota bana bakala lembesha kuvota na mwana checheta mabushe kuti mbaisa mono muntu ale bapera akamutwe bamona kwena tachiringene bamulemba kuti akavota teti chibombe bonse aba bantu basambirira bachenjera so kashinga wale mpero mwaiche kuti yo limbye shuko mukakwata makoti ngiti chakafo iyo elo na bali bo kupusana umuntu olingiro kulembesha okusala afuro kwate myaka 18 ukupoka na NRC ni 16 so ngawase ndo wa 10 years ukamtola so kulomba fe abantu kuti let's be patriotic citizens. If you're a patriotic citizen and you see something that is irregular, you have to report to appropriate authorities so that action can be taken. That's how it should be. You don't go to parade children, give them NRCs belonging to elderly people as a way of discrediting government. It won't work. And we are going to start pursuing those characters. We are able to investigate. Our officers are now equipped to follow through, to trail those that could be posting those things.
The Evangelical Fellowship of Zambia, EFZ, has made a special appeal to government through the Ministry of General Education to withdraw the teaching comprehensive sexual education in schools as a compulsory subject. EFZ Board Chairperson Bishop Paul Mususu tells the media that CSE has proven to be detrimental to the growth of children who may depart from the right ways and follow the teachings of sexuality. The church has since written to the Ministry of General Education in a document dubbed Protect Zambian Children, detailing why the ministry should withdraw these teachings in schools. According to Bishop Mususu, CSE promotes sexual counseling, trains children to advocate for sexual rights, laws and policies to minors without the consent of parents. More in this report.
Comprehensive sexual education topics are slowly gaining momentum, especially now when the people seem to be in the know-how. On Friday, the clergy publicly denounced the program, calling for its immediate removal until such a time. The clergy, under the auspices of the Evangelical Fellowship of Zambia, EFZ, are opposed to this development of compulsory sexual education, especially to children who are under the care of adults. Comprehensive sexual education, otherwise known as CSE, is currently being rolled out in most African countries, and in Zambia 75% of the schools are implementing this program. Reading a statement on behalf of the clergy, Bishop Paul Mususu says the program should be discontinued until consultations are done. He says the country has values that needs to be protected.
Withdraw it for now, and if you like, we can now go into consulting. The people that matter here are the Zambians. Is this something that we can appreciate and condone as Zambians? And do Zambians really understand the underlying factors on this CSE? If we don't, it is helpful for people to be educated and say these are some of the things. Because you see, just the fact that someone has got the money and they are funding certain programs, it doesn't make it right. And as a country, we have some values to protect, and thereby a consultative process is the best.
And speaking at the same event, Bishop Joshua Banda has urged parents to take keen interest in what children are taught in schools. He says Zambia, being a Christian nation, it needs to ensure that the values are inculcated in the teachings of the pupils.
We are calling for a withdrawal of that whole program. That is to say that there are aspects of the rollout of comprehensive sexuality education that actually build ground for the more rapid and general acceptance of certain practices, such as, in this case, responding to the question, homosexuality, same-sex marriage, and these kinds of activities, which in our country, based on our values, Christian values, as well as cultural norms that we've had for many, many years, are contrary. Those things are contrary to the norms that we have adopted. We know that the education sector plays a key role in shaping the future of our children. But from a biblical angle, the primary location for setting stage for where the children go is in the family.
Comprehensive Sexual Education CSE is a sex education instruction method based on curriculum that aims to give pupils, students the knowledge, attitudes, skills and values to make appropriate and healthy choices in their sexual lives. The church becomes the second to publicly denounce CSE, with the first being Chief Chitimukulu, who told the Minister of Guidance and Religious Affairs to advocate for the removal of this program in schools. Sharon Kalimbula, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Lusaka City Council Administrator Nixon Nkwapu has appealed to bar owners to follow laid-down health guidelines as they conduct their operations following the partial opening of the sector by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, Edgar Chagwa Lungu. Mr. Nkwapu noted that bar owners and operators should take the responsibility of making sure health guidelines are followed by patrons while in their facilities. Mr. Nkwapu said bar owners should not allow patrons to disregard the gesture from government by partially opening the sector, as it has taken time for government to ease measures on bar operations. He has also cautioned people involved in liquor trading to operate within the time frame that government has allowed to avoid inconveniences. The administrator expressed gratitude at the continued collaboration between LCC and Zambian breweries on promoting responsible drinking in the city of Lusaka. This was during the launch of Responsible Together campaign under the Smart Drinking Initiative, where LCC and ZB signed an MOU last week to commemorate Global Beer Responsible Day.
Our operators, our liquor undertaking operators, we are aware that this has taken a lot of time for government to ease this sector in terms of our operations because of the education, because of the behavior of the people when they indulge in alcohol consumption. So a lot of careful consultations and interactions was undertaken for government to reach such a point to make that important pronouncement. So our continued appeal is that we strictly adhere to the health guidelines that are provided for us to continue preventing the continuous spread of COVID-19. I will re-echo what His Excellency the President, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu, said, which was equally emphasized by the Honorable Minister of Local Government, Dr. Charles Banda, to say we need to take responsibility as we open these undertakings. We need to make sure that we prepare these facilities, to make sure that the time when our patrons start coming in and drinking, consuming alcohol, we must not have a situation where the President regrets this decision to allow us to operate these facilities, though with limited amount of time, limited number of days. And it's up to us as operators, as liquor undertaking entities, to make sure that we prove that this decision is in good faith.
We now take a break, but still to come, Zamtel drags to court a 22-year-old for vandalizing cables worth 143 kwacha. Stay with us.
I have used Oracle Pure Glycerin for 2 years now. It has really worked for me. It has cleared all the black spots on my face. It has restored my skin beauty. It also smoothens the skin. Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for perfect skin. If it's not Oracle Glycerin, then it's not pure glycerin.
Stay home, stay safe. Times have changed. With the advent of the coronavirus, Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company would like to advise its esteemed customers to avoid visiting crowded places. You don't have to move to pay your water bill. You can do it in the convenience of your home. You can pay your water bills through Zanaco Zapit, Stanbic Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and FNB. You can also use Airtel, MTN, and Zamtel Kwacha mobile money transfer services. For any inquiries to report a fault, please contact our customer service on +260 211 251 571, +260 975 618 618, and toll-free line 5957, Zamtel only. You can also simply email customerservice@lwsc.com. This public announcement is brought to you by the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company. Water is life. Sanitation is health.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. Professional Teachers Union of Zambia Pro-2's General Secretary Kangwa Musenge has been dragged to court for allegedly assaulting his fellow union member. In this case, Kangwa Musenga, 49, a labor leader, stands charged with 1 count of assault, accusing actual bodily harm contrary to Section 248 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. It is alleged that Musenga, on the 25th of August 2020, did assault Ngunga Tembo. When the matter came before the Lusaka Magistrates Court for allocation and possible plea, the accused was not before the court. He is, however, expected to appear on Monday for plea and is currently on police bond. Still in court news, a 22-year-old man of Lusaka has been dragged to court for vandalizing a Zamtel cable valued at 145 kwacha. This is in a matter in which Stephen Urenda is charged with 1 count of vandalism contrary to Section 341 of the Vandalism Act number 17 of 2007 of the laws of Zambia. Allegations are that on the 30th of July 2020 at Lusaka, the accused willingly and unlawfully did vandalize a cable 100 pair 0.5 gagged by 1.5 meters, which is used for provisioning of voice data services, valued at 145 per meter, the property of Zamtel Limited, a public company. The accused is expected to appear before Magistrate Mwaka Mikalile on Monday for plea. Moving on to health news, Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Kennedy Malama has urged the general public to remain cautious in the fight against COVID-19. Dr. Malama says congregational settings pose a serious threat to the country as they are a key element in the spreading of the disease. And the country has in the last 24 hours recorded 3 deaths, 94 new cases and 178 recoveries. We have more in this report.
Minister of Health Permanent Secretary Dr. Kennedy Malama has disclosed that the ministry is concerned with the congregating settings which may be fertile ground for the spread of the coronavirus disease. Dr. Malama says this is because the stage at which the country has reached in fighting COVID-19 remains critical.
The relaxation of restrictions has to be real, in which case we expect schools to open, social is expected. But within that, it's important that all of us, we adhere to the public health guidelines. As the lead in the technical response to COVID-19, we are concerned with the congregate settings, which may be fertile grounds for the spread of COVID-19. And would like to appeal to our people to take the key messages we continue providing seriously. The potential super driver events of COVID-19 in our country remain as weddings, funerals, nightclubs, places of worship, the marketplaces, and many other congregate settings.
He has, however, disclosed that progress has been made in reducing positivity in terms of COVID-19 cases and also the faring good recovery rate in the country.
In the last 24 hours, Zambia has recorded 94 new cases of COVID-19, and these are out of 1,196 tests which we conducted. This, therefore, puts the cumulative number of cases in our country at 14,022. When you look at the disaggregation of the new cases, we had 44 who were picked from routine screening, and these are from Chirilabombwe 1, Lufwanyama 1, Nakonde 3, Solwezi 6, Lusaka 7, Kitwe 13, and Indola 13. We also had 37 who were screened from our healthcare facilities, as we continue emphasizing. These 37 are broken down as follows: Chingola 1, Ikelenge 1, Kasempa 1, Kitwe 1, Monze 1, Mushindamo 1, Solwezi 1, Mufurira 4, Chirilabombwe 6, Lusaka 7, Mongu 7, and Indola 6. So you can see the geographical spread when we do screening in our healthcare facilities is quite broad, and we'll continue increasing on this approach. We also had 10 contacts who are known from positive cases we've recorded, and these are distributed as follows: Chipangari in Eastern Province 1, 1, Mazabuka 1, Solwezi 3, and Lusaka 4. We also recorded a total of 3 persons who were brought in dead and of course swabbed and were positive for COVID-19 from Chirundu 1 and Lusaka 2. Following the COVID-19 related deaths, BID, we've reported in the last 24 hours, our cumulative number of deaths linked with COVID-19 is now 329.
Dr. Malama has since appealed to the general public to always take key messages the ministry has continued providing. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
Chipata District Health Office has revealed that it targets to spray more than 51,000 structures in the fight against malaria at community level under the 2020-2021 indoor residue spray campaign. District Commissioner Kalunga Zulu says 253 malaria cases were recorded in the district by the end of 2019. Mr. Zulu says as Chipata District is busy fighting the COVID-19 pandemic, it has been observed that there is an increase in the number of malaria cases in all of its health facilities. Speaking in a speech read on his behalf at the official opening of the Malaria Task Force meeting held at Luanga House by Chipata District Administrative Officer Kapembwa Skazwe, the DC says the malaria situation is not pleasing at all and needs to be reversed accordingly. He, however, says government is determined to reduce malaria incidences by 60% by the end of 2020. For now, we take a break, but do stay with us as we have international and sports news. Don't go away.
To create a positive difference in people's lives, one must first understand the way people live. At Savenda, we're here for our community, our partners, and our future, as a nation and as a continent.
Back in 1997, we decided we were going to create this family journey into a bigger opportunity, and created a business called Savenda, which meant save nations to develop Africa.
It's always important to give back to the people. The government cannot do everything, but as business entities, we'll be able to reach a lot of people.
From our humble beginnings in the telecoms and mining sectors to our work in energy and development projects, we know how important it is to be true to our roots.
Our services have to be diversified so that we don't depend on one income stream. Back in the village, I was growing up hunting and doing everything that a village boy would like to do. When you're hunting, you don't depend on one trap, for example. You have to have many traps. So those survival skills brought into the business created opportunities that we learned from a young age that you can't survive with just one product. Savenda Group involves Savenda Management, which is a consulting, Savenda Express, which is a corporate branding company, Savenda Electric, which is a manufacturer of energy-saving bulbs, Savenda General Insurance, which is a general insurance company, Savenda Fresh Produce, Cyber Africa, which is a center for just dealing with cyber security.
Now, Savenda is combining local knowledge with international expertise. It's time to be a part of Zambia's rising success and Africa's exciting future.
We are a gateway into Africa, and now we are praying with global companies who are coming to Zambia for opportunities and to look for companies that are homegrown, and we are proud to be one of those.
You're watching Camnet TV World News on Camnet TV, not just another channel. We continue with the news. In international news, married women in Botswana can for the first time be allocated state land even if their husbands already have an allocation of their own. President Masisi has said people in the country are able to go on a waiting list to receive land from the government, but until Thursday's amendment to the law, an individual would be removed from the list if they got married to someone who already had a land allocation. This mostly affected women and led to problems following divorce or death of a husband. Botswana's president tweeted the amended law, which reads, each Botswana will be eligible for allocation of one residential plot at an area of their choice within the country on both state land and tribal land. He said the new policy will also protect widows and orphans who head households and are in need of land for residential purposes. Rights groups have welcomed the charge, saying it was long overdue. In other news, the U.S. Justice Department is reportedly looking to use a rarely used sedition law against Black Lives Matter protesters in Portland. The city has seen 2 months of demonstrations against police brutality following the death of George Floyd. Al Jazeera has more.
Portland has become the flashpoint of America's culture wars. There have been well over 100 consecutive days of Black Lives Matter protests demanding justice for George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and other black people killed by police.
We care about Black lives, and I'm a mom, and I heard George when he called out Mama. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. Because George called out for his mama.
What are you doing?
President Donald Trump sent in federal law enforcement in late July, ostensibly to protect a federal courthouse. That intensified the protests, some of which went from peaceful to violent.
Officers are taking lawful action. Do not interfere. Stay back.
Police arrested scores of people. In recent days, protesters say the number of demonstrators has decreased sharply. But the Trump administration is contemplating a new legal crackdown.
In response to the protests here and in other cities, the U.S. Attorney General, William Barr, has reportedly urged federal prosecutors to bring charges of sedition against some of the people involved. That's a rarely invoked federal law designed to punish people who try to overthrow the government of the United States.
Legal scholars question whether such charges would hold up in court.
And if you look at the most recent examples where sedition has been charged under this act, it's not been successful. I think juries and judges alike tend not to like to convict on this unless there's real hard evidence to show that there's an imminent threat to the government.
No peace! Experts say aggressive prosecution could stifle legitimate free speech and political expression, which are protected under the U.S. Constitution.
I think the threat of the arrest alone will be sufficient to make some people feel it is not safe for me to go out on the street and exercise my First Amendment rights. And the thought that the government would wield its power in a way that would curtail or chill or silence that type of speech should be really frustrating, upsetting, threatening to us as American citizens.
Trump is using the protests to drum up his law and order platform during the election campaign. But a report by Princeton University shows 93% of all protests since Floyd's death have been peaceful. Rob Reynolds, Al Jazeera, Portland.
We now look at sports news. A sports betting provider, MBet, has announced its partnership with Agreement La-Liga, the official Spanish league. Announcing this development, MBet Zambia officer manager Christopher Kanyembo says the partnership will run for a period of 3 years starting with the 2020-2021 season. Kanyembo says MBet is committed to promoting local football talent and hopes this partnership will spur interest for local talents to aim high. The partnership will grow football fans across the East and Sub-Saharan African region. Kanyembo says the initiative marks the beginning of a stronger partnership between the Liga and the sports betting industry in Africa.
MBet Zambia has partnered with La Liga Santander, which is a Spanish football league. So we have partnered with them for 3 years, starting with the 2020-2021 season. So why we have partners with this is because La Liga has noticed that from East and South Sahara region of Africa, we have a very huge number of people that are, watching this. So MBet quickly jumped on board and decided to say, look, we would like to partner with you so that they can bring, footage, they can bring a lot of exciting news to Africa and provide, local talent to wish them so that they can be able to play in the La Liga. So MBet has property rights and also promotional assets, which means that we'll be able to televise, all the footage that are going to be played from La Liga, all the assets that we'll have promotional assets. We'll be able to provide this with all the media houses. So if they require, to get, fixtures, results from La Liga, this is something that MBet will be able to provide. So the beginning of this, partnership, like we said, is going to be for 3 years. So which means that we want the hardworking, footballers, African footballers, the talent that we have in Africa, to also wish that they'll be able to play, in Spanish leagues, not just the English leagues, but also the Spanish leagues. So our, CEO, Daniel Fisher, the group CEO, also is very excited because we want to make sure that African talent, the raw talent of Africa, is also exposed, to Spanish leagues.
That sports item brings us to the end of Camnet TV World News. But before we go, a look at the headlines once again. Vice President INONGE WINA resuscitates Bill 10 debate. Church says no to comprehensive sexual education in schools. PF celebrates by-election win as UPND accepts loss, goes back to the drawing board. In international news, Botswana allows married women to be allocated land. And in sports news, MBET in a 3-year partnership with the official Spanish league, La-LIGA. We now look at the Camnet TV verse of the day, which is coming from the book of Psalms 34 verse 19, and it reads, "Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of them all." I have been your anchor, Liseli Kanyanga. God bless.